What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I'm Chloe, and today we're going to be talking about life past 7. I just want to start by saying 7 is the most spiritual number of all of the numbers. When you think of the lottery, 777 being a lucky number. Not only that, but it took 7 days to create Earth, and on the 7th day, God rested. Also, there are 7 colors in the rainbow, and there are 7 musical notes that we go by. I'm not a musician. I know nothing about music, but I do know that. And so life past 7s are very spiritual. They're amongst the most spiritual of all the numbers. Life past 7s are constantly exploring their own minds and their soul. Life past 7s more than likely are always trying to figure out, why are we here? Why are we human? Why are we here? What is this? They want to know everything. Knowledge drives them. They are the knowledge seekers and distinguishers. Number 7 doesn't take anything at face value. Naturally, a number 7 is a life past 7 person, or someone with a bunch of 7s in their numerology chart, are skeptical. They don't take anything at face value. In its symbolism, the number 7, the top part and the bottom parts. The number 7 looks like the bridge between the angelic world, the heavens, and the human world, Earth. So, grounded, practical, stable, solid, yet spiritual, metaphysical, otherworldly. And so with its symbolism, you can say that life past 7s are here to learn the balance between the practical world and the spiritual world, the logical world and the emotional world. Number 7 is ruled by the planet Neptune. And Neptune in astrology is a very mystical, spiritual, intuitive, imaginative, dreamy-like planet. Neptune is the psychic planet of imagination, intuition, compassion, and spirituality. The domain of dreams and delusions. Neptune is all about evolving, changing, and using spirituality to better ourselves. But Neptune isn't all about fun fantasy in astrology. It's also about addiction, chaos, escapism, solitary confinement, solitude, confusion, and being easily influenced by people, places, or things. Neptune is responsible for brilliant works of art and music, but is also to blame for issues around lies and delusion. With all that being said, 7s are Neptunian by nature. They're usually very spiritual, highly creative and imaginative, and also intuitive, highly intuitive. Solitude, which is a Neptunian trait, is very much necessary for a life past 7. It's important that 7s find something that fosters their love for knowledge. Spending their days using their analytical mind will make them happy. Researching will make them happy. 7s have extraordinary research ability, research skills. They could make great detectives, great researchers. 7s are most comfortable when spending their time alone. They're naturally very comfortable being alone. But sevens need to learn how to balance this time for self and time for time for loved ones, friends, family, all of that. They need to learn to balance their time for themselves and their times for other people. Because by spending too much time alone, sevens may unknowingly or knowingly, more than likely unknowingly, lose consideration for other people. And it will also make a seven feel very alienated to the world, left out, like no one truly knows or understands them. And we're all human. Humans want to connect with people. They want people to know them. We have a need for connection. It's natural. It's a human thing. And a lot of sevens feel very alien-like, or that they didn't come from planet Earth, or maybe that this is their first time here, or they just simply feel odd. By spending too much time alone, you can develop a sense of insecurity around the way you socialize and interact with others. By spending too much time alone, it may also push the ones that you love away, or it could make you feel like the world revolves around your own ideas and thoughts. Now, this is not for every single life path 7. Everyone has a multitude of numbers in their numerology chart. This is just the 7 energy, and you can fall anywhere on the spectrum. You're not set to this one idea of being a life path 7. You could be all of these things, or you could be some of these things some days, or you could just not struggle with this at all. But this is meant to help people better understand what the 7 life path is like. By spending too much time alone, you may start to push people away or be really into your own ideas, your own world. A part of a life path 7's mission in life is to learn how to connect with others, and most importantly, how to connect with yourself emotionally. How to emotionally connect with others and self. It may be a real struggle for you as a life path 7 to trust other people. Maybe in your life, you have found that people aren't to be trusted. Maybe you've been betrayed a lot in your life, and now you're very blocked off from other people. Maybe you don't necessarily like people. Whatever the case is, you have a hard time trusting people. You're naturally very skeptical. Being betrayed by people can cause you to become distrustful, skeptical, and even paranoid of other people's intention. And because trust is such a big deal for you, you may find that sometimes people don't trust you, that you aren't trustworthy. 7s sometimes tend to be very secretive and mysterious also. So just because you aren't trusting people isn't the only reason why people aren't trusting you. You also are just naturally very secretive and mysterious, and people pick up on that. There's a part of a life path 7 that wants a relationship with another person, but low-key kind of doesn't want a relationship with another person. And so often life path 7s attract someone who meets their expectations that isn't honest, open, or trustworthy. A big part of your life's purpose is to learn to trust yourself, to trust others, and to trust in a higher power. A big part of your mission is to have faith or develop faith in yourself, others, or a higher power. It's very important that you develop a sense of trust and openness, because although you find peace in solitude, you'll also find that you feel most fulfilled when your discoveries invoke deep thoughts in others. You're here to help people understand the unknown. You could make a great teacher. You may struggle to build meaningful relationships without overanalyzing, or running away from emotion. Your imagination and perpetual questionings can result to feelings of jealousy and suspicion that in the end only push people away. Instead, use your intellectual mind and your curiosity to get to know someone beyond the limits of intellectualism. When you're constantly analyzing, evaluating, classifying, and labeling, you create a lot of turbulence in your mind. So, a big part of being a Life Path 7 is learning how to balance the mind and the heart. Sometimes you'll have to get out of your head and into your heart. Meditation will work very great for you. I'm reading this book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And I'm only in the 2nd chapter, but he talks about meditating 30 minutes twice a day being the number 1 spiritual law for success. And although it may seem hard, you could just say, okay, I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes, 15 minutes before I go out into the world, before I study, before I talk with someone, before or after I shower, before or after I eat. You know, you can make these little goals for yourself and minimize the difficulty. But it is mind over matter. It's not as difficult as you think. And it's so much sweeter after difficulty. What will help you trust yourself and others more is by taking the time to ask yourself, how does this information make me feel? Ask your heart, how is it that you feel about this information that has been given to you? How do you feel about it? And upon listening to your heart, you will gain a sense of trust within yourself. Once you trust yourself, you'll feel more connected to source energy. Use your spirit and your heart to guide you before sharing that knowledge with the world. Your ability to trust yourself will be enhanced through this process of stepping out of the head and into the heart and flow. Being a Life Path 7 is all about the synergy between the logical mind and the spirit consciousness. When your gifts of analysis and intuition come together, you hold power. I want to talk about relationships for you just a little bit. I just want to touch on a little bit of some relationship challenges for you. So at times you may have trouble supporting or praising your partner. And this can really make your partner feel like they don't matter, or just make them feel not validated in their relationship. So by being aware of this, you can begin to maybe validate your partner more. I find that Life Path 7s aren't the best at understanding what people need emotionally, and that's okay. You're not here to understand someone's needs, but by being aware of this, you can show more attention to your loved one's needs or wants. Maybe just sit with your partner and ask them, if you sense that they feel uneasy or unhappy and you really care about them and don't want to lose them, maybe ask them, what is it that they want? What is it that they need? And have a real conversation about that. And if you are struggling with that, that should solve many problems. In relationships of sevens, life path sevens need someone that's going to challenge them spiritually. Like they need someone that's going to evolve with them, but also to challenge them intellectually. They need someone mature enough who can give them their space to contemplate things, whatever it is. In relationships, sevens, you really need to learn how to be more open and vulnerable. That's key to having a very intimate and close relationship, is being open and vulnerable. Another challenge for you in relationships is stepping out of your inner world. Sometimes you tend to get stuck in your head, maybe thinking that you know everything, or maybe not caring or listening to other people like you should. Whatever the case is, it can interfere with building strong, intimate bonds with your close relations, building healthy relationships. But remember, the journey is never easy. Life is never, it may be easy sometimes, but life is a never-ending journey. The journey of self-discovery is never ending, nor is it easy all the time. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey. Remember that this is a physical experience and you are a spiritual being. Some career options for you would be a surgeon, a scientist, a philosopher, a teacher. Anything using your analytical mind, anything using your research skills. A detective, an analyst, a researcher, a journalist. You'd be great at writing. You might even be great at music or art. I know a few life path sevens who are musicians. But overall, you tend to be data-oriented, intellectual, sensitive dreamers. You tend to be observant and detailed, introspective, analytical, and intuitive, very curious. You are a lover of natural beauty, including nature, no makeup, that sort of thing. You are a very deep person and a very deep thinker. You have a very vivid imagination and you are a wise old soul, or at least you and other people probably think that about you. You are a visionary with an open mind and are independent. And some of the more negative qualities that you may possess are being odd or awkward, obsessive, paranoid, or distrustful, a critic, complainer, high expectation type of person, or perfectionistic. You may tend to be somewhat of a loner and you may also tend to have an overactive mind causing much stress and anxiety. You may suffer with insomnia. You may suffer from depression or pessimism. You tend to come off as reserved quite often. You can be cynical or skeptical of other people, places, things. At your very worst, you can have a sharp tongue. You can be quite selfish or self-centered. And at your very worst, you can also be insecure. But you are not subject to these things. These are traits of being a life path 7. You are not limited. You are not a limited being. You are a very dynamic person with a whole lot of emotions, thoughts, feelings, likes, dislikes, good side, bad side. You can't have the good without the bad, or there would be no bad. And you can't have the bad without the good, or there would be no good. So I just want to end it there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Namaste.